Hey everyone, Mobius1 here, wishing you all a happy new year as we enter 2018. These past 3 months have been crazy for me IRL, as I knew they would be, and because of that, my uploads have been pretty scarce. I actually haven't posted an SWGEmu video since August, so it's been a while. Things have been going well with my job training, and final evals start this coming Friday, so wish me luck. With that being said, back in November, the first wave of Jedi on Basilisk started to appear. I was able to reach out and contact the second, and you'll hear why he wasn't the first, player to unlock for a casual interview to see if he had any tips for any future Padawans. ViT, as he's known, is the leader of the Judge Guild, a rebel-only PvP-oriented guild, and has, since our interview, gone on to become the server's first full-blown Jedi Knight. This means two things. One, he's permanently flagged for faction PvP, and two, there's a really good chance he can kick your ass. To anyone out there that's still working on becoming Jedi themselves, that maybe are looking for a little bit of insight as to how somebody else has already accomplished that, hopefully this little interview, this little Q&A, whatever it is, gives you some information that you might have not already known, or gives you some tips, or pushes you in the right direction, or maybe just encourages you to go on and finish that grind, because it is a long grind. And to those of you that are maybe looking to get into the PvP side of SWGEmu, I put a link in the video description to the Judge Guild's recruitment page on the Galaxies forums, so go ahead and check that out if that's what you're interested in. But that's it for now, guys. Happy New Year, enjoy the video, Mobius1 here, and I'll see you next time. Alright, so first of all, congratulations on becoming Jedi. I know a lot of people are working on it right now. I don't know exactly how many people have unlocked it since you have, but you're, what, the second that we know of?
Yeah, so I actually unlocked the second after my girlfriend Viv. She's known as Luna as well. And we did it the night, actually, that the second phase, which would be the 6th phase, technically, that Jedi was, released for the village. So we got the first old man visit about 11 p.m. and then like 20 minutes later 9 p.m. as well.
So it was really just a matter of whose old man showed up first that determined which of you got the unlock first?
Pretty much, it was just it was an RNG timer, because I actually completed my quest first before she did. Like we did the turn-ins. So for phase 2, trying to unlock faster, it's better to do the vehicle control, because there's no down timer, whereas the combat prowess one had a 3-day down timer. So we did that one months ago.
A little bit of planning ahead there worked out for you.
Oh yeah.
Before we get into what you guys did actually on Basilisk, I figured I'd ask you a little bit about your history with just Galaxies in general. So I'm assuming you played during Live.
Yep. I'm actually from Corbantus from Live, and my girlfriend I met later down the road. She didn't play SWG, but we played a lot of WoW together.
Do you remember what year you started playing, or how many years you played on Live?
It was 2003, and I remember the first time I actually loaded in to feed. There was a Jedi there, and he was pre-9 Jedi with the composite armor on. And he was doing like all the old cool animations. I think some of those animations are still in the file somewhere.
I bet you remember his lightsaber color too, don't you?
Yeah, it was dark green. That's what I use.
Yeah, I remember the first Jedi I saw was wearing dark green composite armor with a light purple lightsaber, and his name was Walter. It's just crazy that something like that sticks out so vividly. But they really were so rare back then that when you saw your first one, it was just like, whoa.
Yeah, I think purple was probably the most popular because, only one Jedi had it in the movies.
Back on Live, what professions did you play or did you like to play?
So when I first started out, I was a swordsman, because I saw that people had the scythe, and it looked really cool, I thought. So that was my first actual profession I mastered, and it was a good choice because it was really good for PvE and PvP, and I always like to do both. And then later down the road, kind of changed the template up a little bit and picked up some defenses. And then once there were like dots everywhere, I had Doctor as well. So it was like a stacker at the beginning, and then later picked up Doctor for the dots and disease and things like that.
Nice. I think the first elite profession that I wanted to go for was rifleman, but it was so slow and I was so impatient that I got like 3 or 4 skills in it and then said screw this, surrendered it, and went and became Terras Kasi instead.
Yeah. Well, I think riflemen and swords are, I mean, obviously the best for PvE, but because during the time that I joined, there was the hollow grind in the system. So basically, what we ended up doing was just getting a few professions through the hollow system, but then when the village came around, I got a couple free unlocks. So I don't think that's in the system for Basilisk, but I think some people probably remember that you get some free unlocks.
Yeah, I do. I got 2 myself. I have no idea what professions they were because I unlocked them before. No, I think one of them was Tailor because I think I got a holocron that told me to do Tailor. But whatever.
At least it wasn't bioengineer. That was the worst.
No, yeah, definitely. So did you become an Elder Jedi on live? Did you unlock it pre-NGE?
Yeah, I did. I unlocked. I think it was in early 2004. It was probably like January, like the second week of January is when I actually unlocked. Um, I played my Jedi through the CU, all through the CU, which I don't think was that as bad as people say it was. And then the first day that the NG unlocked, I actually just quit after I got my. I think you got like a crystal, like a special crystal, and then you also got the robe.
Yep, Crystal Robe and the ability to turn into a ghost. That was it.
Yeah,
Those were your rewards for the months and shit that you put up with.
yeah. It was like 4 months from scratch to the village. It's like here you go, guys.
Yeah, so you actually have way more experience with Jedi than I do because I also became an Elder Jedi, but I didn't get it until mid CU. So I never even got like full template or anything.
Yeah, it was nicer in the CU though because you could grind with people.
All right, so now that we talked about live Galaxies, let's talk about the emulator a little bit. How long would you say you've been playing on SWGEmu?
I have a registered date of 2006. I think that's the earliest date. First started playing on here when you could only go to mining outposts. Everybody looked the same, like clothing wise. Everybody had the same weapons in their inventory, and you had like a lightsaber, a rifle, and I think a VK. I can't remember what else.
So you weren't really playing Galaxies; you were playing a developmental project.
Yeah, when it was just called
Well,
Periphery.
I guess you could consider this still a developmental project.
Yeah, Alpha.
While you're playing on here, would you say the emulator is your main game that you play, or do you play other games as well?
I play some other games too. Pretty much whatever the guild is playing right now. Like we play PUBG and we play some other games too. But I'd say mainly right now, especially with the Jedi unlock, it's been Emu for sure.
Out of the 10 character slots that you have, how many tunes do you have created? And out of those tunes, how many would you consider like active tunes that you consistently play on?
I'd say probably like half of that. I have 10 tunes, so 5 out of 10 I'll play. I have like a doctor. I have a swordsman. I have my Jedi tune. I have like a squad leader. Just stuff that mostly everybody has because of the 10 character limit. And I never really agreed with the 10 character limit. I think everything would be better if we had like two, but that's just my opinion.
All right, what would you say some of the typical activities that you do in Galaxies are? So when you're playing, I guess, like grinding, or if you guys do guild events or that sort of thing, what do you spend your time in game doing?
Well, currently it's just grinding. That's what I'm spending most of my time when I'm not working or doing family time. But I would definitely say the number one goal of me and my guild is PvP. We've been PvPing off and on here for the past 3 years. With every publish, things have kind of gotten better. Publish 7 was, in my opinion, when I really got interested because before then, I kind of just made a character in 2012, and my characters were kind of just sitting there because everything was kind of, unrefined. But as things got improved, like melee, because I've always been a melee player. I think that it's been always PvP at number one. The second thing would probably be crate hunting. We farmed probably about almost 1,000 pearls because we have a lot of Jedi in the guild.
Wow, yeah, that's impressive. You guys do that like AFK farming? You have macros set up for that, or mostly ATK?
We have some people that AFK farm, but mostly did it at the keyboard. Um, it's pretty fun. A lot of people using commando. I've always just used my swordsman.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the village. When the village went live, some people that were more experienced with it, which obviously you were, probably had some sort of game plan going into it. Did you know ahead of time which like 6 force sensitive branches you wanted to unlock?
Yes. It's actually funny because I forgot a lot of it since it was like over 10 years ago. I think a lot of people did, but pulling up all the guides and doing a lot of like tests on Nova, things like that, really helped out to prepare for it. So we knew exactly which. So, for example, earlier when I was talking about the phase 2, there's a quest for combat prowess, and it gives like a 3-day cooldown. So you'll go and do like 3 patrols, then it'll give you a cooldown. You have to wait 24 hours. So we had that planned out. We decided that we were going to do vehicle control last, which was the 6 tree. And we had a bunch of other things planned out, like phase 3 for the, I think it's melee accuracy, the one that gives the Sunriders crystal. That was probably the hardest mission. And we kind of just helped each other out in the guild because it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to solo, honestly.
Yeah, I tried on Nova, and for the video I did on that, I ended up having to resort to some God mode powers to be able to finish it. So believe me, I know.
Yeah, it was a lot of preparing. I thought Jedi was going to be like published 3. I know it's kind of bad to say, but um, a lot of people have been expecting it for a really long time. So we kind of just had been prepared, and we had like 1,000 pearls stocked up by the time Jedi hit.
And you kind of already answered this question, but I figured I'd elaborate a little bit on it. So, other than that phase 3, the melee accuracy quest for the Sunriders, did you do most of your village quests solo, or were you doing them with your guild or in a group with a partner?
Pretty much just mainly did all of them with Viv, except the ones that you kind of like the patrols you kind of had to do yourself. But pretty much did everything with her. So we just did the grind from start to finish together. Since she was the first official Jedi, and then I think the guild kind of just paired up with other people, and we have some other guildy friends that we paired up with outside of the guild. So I'd say like a mix.
This is probably going to be a popular question. Which professions were you on the tune that you did it that way, for the XP conversion and that sort of thing?
I was TK Commando, so I actually went Master Commando. A lot of people just did the 4000, which lets you throw, I think, Imperial and thermal detonators. But
Yep.
I use proton grenades on live. They do heat damage, and they just do massive damage. And also at Master Commando, you're pretty close to being speed capped. And then for the grind, I also bought thrown weapon speed and accuracy. Then you just put that in a clothing spot, and you can pretty much just throw grenades like super quick and burn down the mobs.
So you went the full blown commando grenade, gonna max out combat XP route.
Yeah, I think it equated somewhere to like 75 turn-ins just throwing grenades.
Did you also do your other combat profession? Like, did you max out your weapon XP as well, or just the combat XP?
I had everything maxed for the first day. I can't remember which day it was, like August. But yeah, I had everything maxed out for the first. But if you're asking like every time I went back, no, I just did grenades. It's more efficient that way.
All right, so you really just had your other profession to kind of defense stack, help you with survivability, or
Yeah, because you're gonna get hit really hard with ranged weapons.
all right. Well, as a master commando, armed with your grenades, what did you have any specific method of grinding? Were you doing missions? What planet were you on, or did you just randomly go out hunting large creatures? Like, what when you sat down at your computer, like, all right, it's time to grind. Where would you go?
So on live, what I did was I stayed on Dathomir, and that's what I did here because you have to drive to the village so many times that it's more efficient, in my opinion, to just stay on Dathomir, and I think that's why Science Outpost got Zerg so bad, because people were just, what they were doing is they were just running missions like I think Rancor missions and Craggy Bulma missions and things like that from the Science Outpost. What I was doing was I was just getting buffed in the Science Outpost, and then I would run missions to the southeast, which is where the village was. I would take missions to the southeast, kill those 2 layers, and then I'd be like probably 200k out of 300k combat XP, which was the cap. And then I would drive towards the village, and on my way, I'd always find at least another layer to cap. That's what I would do. I would just literally run back and forth, and sometimes I get lucky. Like I would go around the village, and I'd find like 3 layers about maybe 1.5k outside the village, and I would just grenade those down depending on like the ham, like if they were rancors or something. And then after that, I would just go back to the village and turn in and get capped really quickly.
Wow, so I've never done the commando route, but it really is that fast, like 3-4 layers and you're maxed or capped?
Yeah, it depends on how many the mobs spawn. You get, especially like one trick that a lot of people did was like they'd see 2 layers next to each other, like a static spawn. Like a static spawn would be next to a layer, and they would like swoop around and gather those aggroed, and they would pull those to the layer, and then you could just grenade everything down at once, and you just it just racked up really quickly.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, we found that to be most efficient. I think some other people were doing that as well, but I don't really have experience with like the crafting portion because I've always been more of a PvPer, so I always just do combat.
Now, based on that answer, the answer to this next question is probably going to be a lot shorter than I was expecting it to be. But what kind of dedication was required for you to get all the XP that you needed? In other words, how many hours a day and days per week did you have to invest to get all the Force sensitive XP you needed?
Pretty much just got it done like the first couple phases because you could just cap the XP and you could just bank it for later. So if you were to go and do some layers, turn it in, you could have like 100k each turn in, and then if you did it, I think it was 13 times. That was 1 branch. So you multiply that by 3 for each for reflexes and combat prowess, but then you had like all the XP you needed. So we were pretty prepared. Like I said, we've been waiting for Jedi for years. Last time Jedi was here was Liberator, like you said. So
that's kind of ridiculous that it was so easy. I didn't know the commando route was that big of an advantage, but I'm gonna have to try it when I get some more time, I guess.
Yeah, I'd be happy to help you out with it. I mean, it's definitely time consuming. It's I mean, you don't have to be really hardcore about it, but I mean, you'd have to maybe throw grenades like 2 hours a night for like 3 weeks.
I mean, that's still a lot faster than doing it with like 2-3 combat professions.
Yeah, that's being pretty generous with it because I'd say we did it a lot faster than 2 hours a night in 3 weeks. We probably did it in like 2 weeks.
All right, so now that you are Jedi, going forward, are you afraid of bounty hunters?
No, we want to be bounty hunters because I mean, at the end of the day, Jedi is a PvP profession. You can't really be a Jedi and not PvP. I mean, you can adjust the PvP you want because if you go Knight, like after Padawan, you're always over. You have to be stuck with Rebel or Imperial. But no, I'm actually looking forward to fighting people on the server, and it should be interesting because some of the weapons are pretty ridiculous.
I mean, I remember from my limited Jedi experience on live how weak you are during that transitional period from like where you're surrendering your main on Force sensitive skills and picking up those very early Jedi skills, where you really can't stand up to another player in PvP, and especially on a server like Basilisk where a lot of the bounty hunters are so ridiculously well geared. Do you have any like technique for evasion during that period, or do you just plan on grinding beyond that point as fast as you can so that you don't have to worry about it?
Well, I'm pretty much almost done with my template now. I'd say maybe, I don't know, 3 to 4 more days until I'm done. But my tips for people that are doing this, you definitely don't want to be on the terminals when you're not full template. And the reason why, you're pretty much a noob. Like starting out, like you're worse than like a TK with like a novice TK with armor because you can't wear armor. You can't do force abilities with armor or a PSG. You can't wear PSG. You're just basically got your Jedi robes, which don't have any protection. That gives you force regen and a little bit more force. The technique, I would say, is people to just zoom out their radar to at least 256 meters. Watch your overhead map. Sometimes when I've been grinding, I'm grinding actually as we're talking, you'll see like NPCs spawn near you. Like they'll just spawn out of nowhere. And you definitely want to have your, like, for example, I have TK, so I'll have my Vibronuclear on the toolbar. And you just kind of want to stay away from it.
Just switch to the vibronuclear. Like, oh, you saw nothing.
Yeah, just like if you see a blue dot on the map, you'd be surprised, but some people are actually really obsessed with the Jedi on the server, and they've made Rangers, and they're actually using area track to find Jedi and give them visibility.
Probably the same people that have bounty hunter alts.
Yeah, they have their bounty hunter waiting at the terminal, just waiting to give you visibility, even though like you've been playing legit.
Clever girl.
Yeah, so like I said, there's some people that are really obsessed with Jedi on here, but yeah, that's what I would say. Just watch out for any passing vehicles and any NPC spawning near you.
Have you ever used or seen anyone use the small house deed trick, where you just carry a small house deed with you everywhere and drop it if you need to? Obviously, you can't do that on like Dathomir or Yavin, but if you're grinding on a planet where you can do that.
Yeah, I think that's probably why a lot of people are grinding on Dantooine, because Dantooine was like the most popular on live. At least, I mean, I was a big bounty hunter on live too, so I remember always going to Dantooine. But yeah, Dantooine gives a lot of good XP, and I actually have seen people carrying their deed around. So I've seen Jedi on the Wild around Dantooine. I've grinded on Locke. I've grinded on Endor. Can't drop a house there though, but I've seen houses near where the Jedi are grinding, so I have no doubt that's what they're doing.
I don't know if you want to share this information, but what build are you going for?
I'm probably gonna do like a Master Lightsaber, because I honestly Master Lightsaber is just it's too good not to have in pre-CU. In the CU you could get away with it, but I'm gonna do like a Master Lightsaber build with the 2 Treason Healer, which is like 4x4, and then I'm probably gonna pick up Enhancer to get Channel, and I'm gonna get Alignment Powers because it's like an AOE Intimidate, and it's really helpful.
The last thing I have on here is, do you have any advice for other players that are potentially going Jedi? I know you just gave some with the houses and where to go, and be careful that you're not wearing armor, no PSGs, but anything else that you can think of that your average player may not be aware of that someone with your experience is?
Well, I would say to join a guild, especially one that is going to focus on Jedi or Jedi friendly. Probably not the best idea to join like a bounty hunter guild and be like, "Hey guys, I'm going Jedi." I've seen people do that, but I would say other than going commando for the fastest route to Jedi and joining a guild to get help, um, just farming for pearls, because the tunes I've tuned probably about 50 pearls so far, and I've only gotten maybe like 6 that are actually worth using.
Wow, it's a pretty low rate.
Yeah, so you're gonna want enough pearls. Some people are selling the lightsaber kits. Like they'll they have the server best resources like in a backpack, and if you go to their vendor and buy it, so that way you don't have to like gather them like I did. But since I've been on the server for so long, we just sampled everything when it spawned.
All right, so keep your eye out for lightsaber resource kits. Definitely farm some pearls because you're gonna need a boatload of them.
Either farm the pearls or have enough money to make and buy them. My guild judge that I'm the guild leader of, we're always looking for other Jedi, but mainly Rebel Jedi. So if you're Imperial, I don't really have an answer.
All right, well, looking at my chicken scratch on my notebook, that's all I had. Do you want to add anything else that you feel necessary to say?
No, I would just say that people should come check it out. Things are working really good on Basilisk for Jedi, and I would say that this is kind of the primary draw for this for this server right now, because all the other servers that have sprouted up over the years, their main attraction has been Jedi, and I think this is probably going to be the best time for SWG EMU until we get jump to Lightspeed.
I completely agree. Jump to light speed and then server wipe are the two remaining milestones.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, Vit, I want to thank you again for your time. I know you guys are always playing, so right now both of our times are limited. It was a good thing that we got this to work out. Our schedules to line up for this.
Yeah, for sure. I got a couple days off now. That's the weekend. I'm gonna be trying to shoot for Jedi Knight soon. So once that's kind of done with my grind, I'm gonna be doing the night trials and hoping to be the first, if not one of the first. So
Well, I can't speak for anyone else on the server, but I'm sure if you continue at the rate that you have been, that is definitely a possibility.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's not for everybody because you can be griefed. You honestly, you're permanently over, and anywhere you clone, people can just be waiting. But yeah, I think a lot of people have been waiting for a long time for this, and yeah, it's been really fun so far. I think everybody I've talked to that's playing at Jedi is having a great time.
I know I'd like to. I just need to find more time to do it, but that's the story of life.
Indeed.
All right, man. Well, again, thank you for your time. I hope people find this information helpful because I know there's a lot of people out there that are still working on their grind, and maybe this will give them the insight they need to finish things up and get their first glow stick.
Cool. Thanks, man.